Hello, my name is Pavel Okopnyi, and on behalf of my co-authors, Oskar, Juhlin and Frode Guribye, I present our paper, Unpacking Editorial Agreements in Collaborative Video Production. It is an interview study focused on collaboration between video editors and their reviewers, specifically on how video editors organize post-production and the reviewing process when they receive and process feedback. Video editing is a very complex process. It requires specific skills and often involves teams of professionals working together. Video editing tools such as Adobe Premiere and Final Cut are often designed with a single user in mind, thus they provide little or no support for collaboration. There can also be different stakeholders involved in collaborative video production, including clients who order video production. The stakeholders can have different roles in different projects, and some have a lot of experience, some are less experienced, and have less knowledge about video editing. Here we focus on a specific part of the collaborative process, that is, providing feedback. The communication between video editors and their reviewers mostly happen over the internet via email, file sharing, and messaging applications. The reviewing workflow is similarly straightforward. A video editor or producer uploads a video to file sharing service and instructs clients on how to provide feedback, write down the timecode and the comment. In our work, we go beyond time-coded commentaries and focus on different strategies which participants employ to reach editorial agreements on the video. There are of course other studies of reviewing, including efforts to design for feedback. For example, Pavel et al. Created a reviewing tool called FitGrid, which allowed reviewers to record the comments, so the comments would be efficient as if they were given in person. In a face-to-face environment, creative workers can have richer communication with reviewers due to nonverbal cues, and the context of commentaries can be immediately understood. They also have opportunities to discuss the video in detail and try out new changes. However, the complex nature of media can lead to inaccurate, incorrect, and ambiguous information being passed from one party to another. Thus, receiving feedback can sometimes be frustrating. Creative workers can employ different strategies to alleviate communicational challenges. For example, designers and engineers often refrain from sharing works early in progress with reviewers or create tailored presentations containing only selected elements of the work. To facilitate time-coded commenting, video professionals can employ special services, such as frame.io, which allow reviewers to draw shapes in the video frame to highlight certain objects in the frame. These services are usually standalone web applications. Some, such as frame.io or Wipster, allow limited integration with popular video editing software, allowing video editors to view commentaries directly in the software. What we want to do is to take a step back and see what is going on in the collaboration between video reviewer and video editors. We performed a series of in-depth semi-structured interviews with video workers and their reviewers to get their accounts of the reviewing process. We applied a purposive sampling strategy and recruited people with experience in video editing in different scales, from amateur clips to feature-length movies. In 5 cases, interviewees gave us contact information for colleagues and former clients who agreed to participate in the study. We also had multiple follow-up sessions in which we were able to dig deeper into the topic. We also asked our interviewees to share some examples of feedback which is sent via emails or other services, so we could see what exactly we're talking about. In our analysis, we were inspired by the sociology of knowledge and the so-called empirical program of relativism. When it comes to knowledge, you can always disagree and interpret things differently. An important premise here is that the content, that is, video, does not hold the resolution for disagreements. For example, participants can interpret the same terms differently when talking about the color scheme or the mood of the video. In the paper, we start with displaying the interpretive flexibility in media and social interaction during editing. Then we identify various social closure mechanisms through which the flexibility is reduced. In total, from our analysis, we identified 9 relevant themes for understanding reviewing in video editing, referring to either the interpretive flexibility of content or various ways collaborators reach agreements. Now I will show you what interpretive flexibility might be in the case of the video. I have picked one example and will show how the same problem actually could be solved with 2 different closure mechanisms. The example is the blue is not blue enough. This is an actual example provided by one of our interviewees. What this example is meant to illustrate is that participants might disagree on a similarly simple theme. For example, what color to pick for a graphic, or what hue they would like to see after the color correction. Discussion and textual comments in and on video editing have a specific professional language with idiosyncratic terms, jargon, vocabulary, and assumptions. Nonetheless, it is hard to describe the audio-visual time-based medium. In pre-production, an idea for a video must somehow be presented in the form of a textual task description, including the look and feel of the video. Interpretive flexibility can prevail throughout the production process without participants reaching any agreements. Collaboration in editing generates continuous instances of uncertainty and vagueness between editors and clients. One of the ways to reach an agreement is to use documentation, a contract, screenplay, storyboard, and so on. While the documentation and artifacts aim to specify and delimit the scope of the product and the process, there will inevitably be certain aspects of the process and inherent uncertainties that will need to be resolved during the production. For example, it can be documented in the script or the storyboard what colors exactly the client would like to see in the video. Another way to limit uncertainty and interpretive flexibility is by applying what we term organizational closure mechanisms. They work by arranging collaborative activity in ways that decrease the options. For example, when a video is ordered on behalf of a company, its representative, typically a person from marketing, may not want to take responsibility for the video and could be hesitant both to accept the work and suggest edits. Thus, the production team prefers to communicate with an executive such as the CEO, who doesn't answer to a supervisor and can be called the main stakeholder in the process. In other cases, the producer acts as a negotiator between the production team and client. This way, they aim to arrange and limit the client's opportunity to participate in the project by preventing direct communication with the production team members. In sum, all these mechanisms, including the reduction in the number of participants, preference for an appointed reviewer, and appointing negotiators, aim to arrange the collaboration in a certain way to reduce feedback. In our blue is not blue enough example, this could imply that the video editor would try to ask a specific person about what color exactly should be used in the video, and refrain from communicating to other people who might be involved in the project. Based on our findings, we propose 3 design paths. In this proposition, we try to broaden the design space by proposing general directions for further software development. The design paths are meant to inspire new designs and give a general direction for such explorations. The first design path we suggest is scaffolding. By scaffolding, we mean a preset structure that supports participant collaboration. For example, we suggest documentational scaffolding, that is, linking documents to relevant parts of the video editing suite. For example, if a contract states that the video should contain a certain element, such as an interview with a certain person, a link can be provided to the segment of the video to show that this has been included, and where to find it in the video. Moreover, textual documentation could be made into a checklist to be included in the software. It could point out which of the elements are ready for review and what elements remain to be included. Such documentational scaffolding mechanisms already exist in many off-the-shelf product management tools, such as task tracking tools. The second path, conic referencing, addresses the problem of using vague and flexible terms which might be interpreted differently. For example, the video editing or reviewing software could allow a reviewer to suggest a concrete color scheme or attach a mood board to the video, so the editor would have a better understanding of what terms such as awesome or smooth or happy mean. The third path, suggestive editing, presumes including reviewer in the editing process. This can be done in the form of a lean video editing software that is stripped of most features, except those that would be appropriate for other participants. For example, after a video editor cut the footage and rearranged the shots into a movie, they would submit the raw draft to the client. The client would open the draft in a special software, which would allow them to perform only selected actions, reviewing the video, rearranging the shots, or removing one or several shots in the timeline, and attaching commentaries to explain the changes. The changes would be recorded as suggested and then conveyed to the video editor, who would decide to accept or decline the changes or to recut the video. With these three paths, we hope to broaden the design space and give software designers some new general directions in the design process. We hope that our study will inspire new design ideas which would alleviate many communicational challenges in collaborative video editing. Thank you for listening. If you want to know more, please read the paper, visit our website, or feel free to reach out to me via email.